News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.
And a very good morning to you. This is Newsline, live as always from the Newsfirst studios in Dawson Street in Colombo. And turns out it's another nice day out there. It's lovely. And it's brilliant actually when the weather is nice and the ambience is great. And but as always, there are some colourful moments that are happening on this beautiful island of ours. And to discuss various aspects of poor governance and even poorer performance is a very vociferous critic of those matters, Mr. Azath Faraz. Very good morning to you, Mr. Sari.
Very good morning, Faraz.
What is troubling you the most about these matters?
See, troubling me the most is 3.5 years of good governance. Government has failed miserably. Not even fulfill one of the aspirations of the people. This is the most disgusting thing that we are talking today. Is the expectation was so high with 7 years of rule of the Rajapaksa family. And taking from there, we all worked right throughout, day and night, to see that democracy is stalled and we have a new government that will have good governance and transparency. But today, you can see deal over deal, and that is the deal of the government, which is the saddest point. I mean, if you take the Sri Lankan, they have started the presidential inquiry on the Sri Lankan airline. Now, this government has a period of 16.5 months now. In the 16.5 months, they won't be able to complete this because they are going into the history of Sri Lankan, how Sri Lankan started.
So they'll probably end up with Air Ceylon then.
So they will end up, yes. They will start with the end of Air Ceylon and then start. And they, by the time they come to the present regime, it will be at least 3 years, the way it is going. My point is not that. This commission must have two parts. That is, first to inquire the 3.5 years.
So you mean to say they must have 2 periods of inquiry?
2 periods of inquiry. First priority must be given to the 3.5 years of the present government. Because that, after Mahinda Rajapaksa taking Sri Lanka out of Emirates and then giving it on his own, like his personal property, was taking and parking planes in various countries when he was travelling with all his catches. So that was the biggest loss that was made by Sri Lanka. So from there onwards, when the present government came, we thought that things are going to be better with all the best people going to be in the Sri Lankan board. That will do. I mean, we got people who are making coffee, people who are making tea as chairmans and vice chairmans, directors. Chartharat was brother is bought in for 3.2 million rupees.
Yes, so basically the first board under this government was made up of friends and family. Well, I don't know about family, but friends and confidants. The second lot was the same. And by the way, by the time they appointed one lot, I do remember very clearly that various ministers, and I believe Eram Vikramaratne was one of them, who said that now we are appointed professional people to the board of Sri Lankan Airlines, and implying that there was a that there was everything was going to be all right.
Good.
Yes, but this is a company that is constantly made losses, and currently I think 70 billion plus operating losses. Now then, this is the same company that banks are lending money to. The state banks are lending money to.
This is the other
state
problem.
Banks are being forced to lend money to loss-making exercises.
And even the last board, if you see the chairman and the board of directors taking a person as the CEO, Suren Ratwatta, for 3.2 million rupees as monthly salary. Now, with the new board coming and he been asked to step down, for him to retire, he wants a huge amount of money, 40 odd million rupees asking for, to withdraw, to get out of the system, and he wants up and down ticket for him and his wife to Australia. See, I mean, these things were all discussed when he was taken in for employment, and he was on probation. The same board confirmed this. Same board confirmed his job, and what did they do? They allowed him to do everything. Not only that, they allowed him to even fly bigger flights by getting people from abroad and giving him training. That has cost another 28 million
yes,
rupees.
yes, special training.
Special training was given to him to fly these things. Whose money they did all this? And who is the board that approved it? First and foremost, that board must be arrested.
Indeed. Now, I'm going to be asking you another question, and that question is this, that is it all right, Mr. Azath Faraz, do you think, well, let's change the question, do you think that these people actually care about the money? Or do you think that they come into power and they think, right, that's it, here we go, we are going to rob?
See, I mean...
What is going on here?
Up to the time of 2015, Mr. Wickramasinghe was known as Mr. Clean.
Yes. Which Mr. Wickramasinghe are you talking
Mr.
about?
Ranil Wickramasinghe,
right,
the leader of the United National
yes, because
Party.
the former chairman of Sri Lanka is also Wickramasinghe.
Yeah, right. So, what happened? We expected a lot. The country expected a lot.
Yeah.
But we never expected him to come with his catchers and friends to ruin the country. See, we all strive hard. We have the right to say this for us because we are the people who brought this government into power. We have the right to say it. And these people completely destroyed all our wishes. Everybody was waiting to see Sri Lankan flying high. Everybody was waiting to see the local banks flying high.
I think I want to make this point clear, that the public are concerned, like you rightly point out, because the election's around the corner. And therefore, there's no point in just focusing right now. Like you say, it's a very good idea, and I do hope that the President is listening in on what your suggestion is, and perhaps you should meet him and tell him this. Because unless it's a two-prong, or maybe even break it down into three parts and simultaneously run it, we're not going to get anywhere. Because the big ticket items, as I call the big ticket items, like the cancellation of the leases, the return of the aircraft, the cancellation of the new orders, these are big money. Well, one is $89 million, there's $154 million. There's a lot of money. The cabinet approved one thing, Kabir Hashim said something else, Ravikant Naika said something else, and then, it's $154 million. There is no clarity whatsoever, no proper statement. They hide all these things under the carpets, in their cupboards, in their safes, in their chairman's safes, and so on and so forth.
Now, with Suren Ratwata, there was a lot of others confirmed, because you have to justify, You can't only confirm Suren's appointment, a person on probation was confirmed with others. Now, the same the so-called senior people in the Sri Lankan Airlines who have brought the airline to this level are the people who are still running it. Now, even the present chairman has to look into this only, because these are the same people who have brought the airline down to this level, are today dictating. Now, they have got a company to rearrange the whole thing of Sri Lanka. Now, the same senior people have gone into that company also and advising them, as if they are people who have really done good for the company. They are also there and they want to confirm their seat only. They are all interested not to get out of this airline, but to be there and ruin it completely. Now,
let's leave Sri Lanka for the moment, because I've got other things here to talk to you about. I want to ask you about the role of one M.A. Sumandiran, lawyer, politician. The man, I remember him for one thing particularly, and that is for the delay he caused with the bond. I think you spoke about that yesterday. Remind us what that was
actually, when the bond was there, Mr. Wickramasinghe volunteered to go before the bond the day they were closing it.
The Commission of Inquiry, yes.
The Commission of Inquiry. And he decided to go. Then the Commission in return told him, we have no time, but we can give you one thing, is we'll give you a questionnaire.
A questionnaire, yes.
Will you please answer that?
Yes.
And that was sent to Mr. Wickramasinghe, who writes the reply. M.A. Sumendran, MP.
No.
Yes.
Are you sure?
I am telling you. When there were senior,
with authority and responsibility.
When there were senior president's councils who were consulted, when they went there also, they saw Sumendran there.
But he could have just been there for a cup of tea.
I mean, you see, my issue is, now a person like Sumendran, Vali Amuna, all these people were part and parcel of this change. They were all there with us. We were all together.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden we see a change in these people's attitude. Right?
Yeah.
Now, if you very well remember, now Sumendran will go into history, right, as a person who has betrayed the minority community.
Because,
see, now the executive presidency, we all bought Maithripala Sirisena as a common candidate and we kept him there. But with the 19th Amendment, they put everything without the knowledge of the president, and it was handed over to him at Vyaramadeva Park, where he said, I am going to implement this, not knowing what was inside that. Right? So that was one. Now, with the 20th Amendment coming in, what are they trying to say? They want the entire powers of the president removed. And yesterday or day before I saw...
so you're placing this at the doorstep of Mr. Sumandrin, the 19th Amendment, the sneaking in, if you like.
See, President, before all that, were always accusing the NGOs that were running this country.
Right.
But the same NGOs are still running.
Right.
The diaspora is still running. The diaspora is trying to do one thing. The NGOs are trying to do another thing. So they are all together now to destroy whatever that is there. Now, President's powers to be removed. Then Jayampati goes on television and says, not only that, we should be ashamed that we are still holding to the executive presidency. Presidency has to be abolished. Is Jayampati's latest TV program, I have seen it yesterday or day before night. So my question is, as a government, has the government taken a decision, or the UNP, why don't you openly come and say that we want the executive presidency totally got rid of? Right? That should be the policy, no?
Indeed.
And ask all political parties what is their attitude, what is the minority parties wanting. Today, if you say, Faraz, from the time of Chandrika to date, all the presidents who came, they said the bane of the problem in Sri Lanka is the executive presidency. That was Chandrika's manifesto. Right? We have to totally eradicate, completely take this executive presidency off. But did this happen? Then the champion of democracy, Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa, came. What did he say? We are going to abolish the executive presidency. Then he also became Prime Minister for 11 years. Chandrika became President for 12 years. Mahinda for 11 years. Then takes over the rest. And now what we are doing is also not deciding what to do, but getting some key players like Sumendran, others to come out and say, no, this executive presidency must go. And also do things inside. Why don't they come openly and tell the country that this is the issue? Now see, Tamil Muslim community is a community that have been living in the east and the north together. Now we see Mr. Sumendran acting against the minority Muslims also. See, this is something that I really was not wishing, because Sumendran and we have been working together. But why is the Sumendran's attitude...
This is for political experience.
Political experience, not experience, but I don't know for what reason. Or whose agenda he is working for. Because Muslims are a committee that is peace-loving, and we want to live with the Tamils there.
But I think we all are peace-loving, not only the Muslims, but everybody.
Everybody wants peace in the country. No? That is why we wanted the change. No? We didn't want a war. No? What is Duke Gunasekara saying? I hate the military uniform, he says. Why? Because there was speculation that one military person was trying to become the next presidential candidate. From the own party, there is resistance coming. Where you saw Kumar Velgama making a statement, Pradesh Bhagavat Nati Ekek, Abi Kiyar again. Right? Then Vasu says, Mama Innakang had ended. So these are problems not by the UNP or the SLP. It is between the port tour that these things have come, and this on the executive presidency. So first and foremost, this country must decide whether are we going with the presidential system or not. Why don't the political party leaders make their statement very clear? Why don't the UNP say it?
You know, while we talk about Mr. Sumandrin, you know what we mentioned earlier, that I remember him for his action or his delaying tactic, if you like. Well, it may not have been. It was a delay. And that was Mr. Sumandrin, who normally communicates in English, now decided that he couldn't communicate without the Tamil translation of the bond report.
That is what I told at that point itself at my press conference. See, a person who speaks in English in Parliament, right, addresses all the diaspora people in English, right? And then when the issue of this came, in Parliament.
Then he wants to
wanted to, yes, he wanted to delay, and that contract was given to him. That's what I'm saying. No, diaspora is involved, the NGOs are involved. Mr. Vikramasinghe is very closely associated with all these people. And see, most of the people who are in position today are all NGO kakas, no, according to the president.
I'm sorry, but Mr. Sumandra's actions are typical of some people from the legal fraternity. It's not illegal, but it achieves what they wanted to do. By the way, one of our viewers has pointed out that the man, do you remember Nandana Lokavitana?
Yes.
Yes, you do.
I only spoke so much about it.
Yes, yeah. Right. Well, Mr. Malik Samaravikrama went to see the factory yesterday.
Oh.
And they are saying that this is all, and one of the newspapers carried the image about it. What do you have to say about that?
See, Nandana Lokavitana, I don't need to say a lot. We have already said a lot about it. And now the issue is Malik Samaravikrama. Yeah. See, I mean, is he a minister who should be in the Sri Lankan government? Is a big question.
Why not? He is a friend of the Prime Minister.
Yeah, this is what I'm saying. This is what has ruined the whole country. Now, if you see what is the investment that he has brought into this country, and are the investors coming into this country? Rubbish. No. It's a big no. He is bluffing. As Bandula Gunawardhana says, he is bluffing everybody, misleading Parliament. What are you talking for us? Did you see the statement that he made in Parliament? What was his statement? He said that this Sri Lanka-Singapore agreement, trade agreement, was put before Cabinet. Yes, it was put before Cabinet. But Cabinet returned it, saying it needed amendments.
Well, what they said is, I'm now recalling the Cabinet memorandum on this. The Cabinet, in terms of the Sri Lankan-Singapore FTA, said that they need the concurrence of the AG's department, and that thereafter it should come back to Cabinet for
It was
signature.
not like that. It came to Thalata. Thalata in return sends it there, and the AG sends to Thalata, and Thalata now sends back to Malik, saying that the amendment has come from the AG's department and this should be put for ratification. That letter is very clear. And this man did not put this back there. That is the accusation.
How can they ratify it? Because the Cabinet has not agreed.
And Sri Lanka, as usual, like the bond and this one, papers get missed, no?
Yes.
So now there is a problem, whether this paper that is missing, whether there is a clause. Now they are trying to bring doctors from Singapore. They are going to bring doctors from Singapore. Now, when a doctor comes from abroad, even Sri Lankan who is studying...
There will be another strike now. There will be another strike.
That is going to happen, no? Already they have announced yesterday. Now, the doctors will have to be very careful. Now, according to Malik, doctors who are coming, according to the Sri Lankan law, any doctor who is studying anywhere in the world can come to Sri Lanka to practice. But he has to sit for the Act 16 exam.
Correct.
Now, Act 16, we don't know whether this Act 16 is also taken out. We don't know. That is why that paper is missing. So now, Malik Samaravikrama has to tell in public that this has been ratified by the Cabinet, number one. Number two, any doctor coming from Singapore also has to sit for the Act 16 and then only perform. Because people are having doubt on why these papers are getting missed. The most important papers are getting missed. So, Lokovitarna and Malik's connection, we have already told. How did he come to Sri Lanka? How did this tire factory start? President ordered it to be stopped. After some time the approval was given because they went and approached him and said, no, this is good and all that. So the problem is, we have a BOI and we have these people coming in. Are we seeing from where this money is coming? What sort of money they are bringing into the country?
Actually,
perhaps
the BOI as the arm that's implementing foreign direct investment, FDIs and foreign owners and projects in this country. Perhaps the BOI should insist from these investors that they either pay for or bring with them a original report issued by somebody that is specializing in forensic auditing of people's accounts. There are various firms.
Now, Faraz, you have a very good point.
There are various firms. For example, there's an American company called Kroll Associates. They specialize in exposing that. They exposed the President Daniel Arap Moi of Kenya, and they did a report. The first part, it was called The Raping of Kenya. Now, it is after that report came out that it was intelligently, inspiredly leaked to the then President Moi that he decided to not contest his elections again. Now, this firm specializes, and there are others like it, they specialize in forensic auditing of the financial affairs of people. It is, I think, incumbent that the BOI in this country to make sure that it is all bona fide investors. Then they come in, they must either pay for one of those reports, which the BOI can then commission an independent outside firm to do this, or they must bring with them a current report of their own, done by an independent firm like this, so that there can be no doubt. Why doesn't Mr. Lokuvitarana do that? Why doesn't the BOI?
Not only that, even when they are withdrawing that money from the bank certificate is there. Indeed. You can get a certificate from the bank, proof of payment. Right? You get a letter that this money was in this bank and this was withdrawn for investment in Sri Lanka. That certificate can be given to the BOI. We don't insist on those things. We get. Now, who is Lokuvitarana is a thing that we have discussed over and over again. This Lokuvitarana is now part and parcel of Malik's company.
Indeed.
Right? So how many positions he is holding and how many companies are given to him?
I think he's been in and out of one company.
Yeah, exactly. In and out. Whenever he comes as minister, he comes out.
There's questions are coming in, so many this morning, and if I miss some, I'm so sorry. But one viewer says Sri Lankan and Indian Airways are being talked about fraud that took place under MR. How about their performance now, which will go direct to implicate RW and his friend?
What we said. That's what I said. It must be taken into two sections. Now, if you are going to restructure Sri Lankan, first you must see the present problem. No?
Indeed.
Right? Now we are seeing the history.
Indeed.
We definitely need the history. We need what MR did with Sri Lankan Airlines is a must. But now, to restructure this, we must know what mistake we have made in the 3.5 years.
Another person is saying, what was Minister Faiza Mustafa doing as an advisor to the President whilst the 19th Amendment was being passed? Where was he playing at the time?
No, that was the beginning of the government, and that time only it was formed, and that time he was not an advisor to the President, no, and he was
he's always been close to the President.
He was a nationalist MP at that time, and after the President took office, only we had the 100-day government. So this was all done before. So this is purely Mr. Wickramasinghe and his catchers who did that 19th Amendment. So we can't blame anybody coming from the SLP because that time there was no government for us.
Indeed. Now, this is yet another question here. The question today, you've obviously upset the apple cart here. If somebody is asking us whether they can bring the 20th Amendment to the Constitution by the amendments without a referendum.
I don't think even the 20th Amendment will be passed first. So that will not happen because 20th Amendment everybody is talking against. And that is why they say whether this is sponsored 20th Amendment by the UNP to the JV.
And this is another message coming in from somebody who says that I will not vote for Sumandaran anymore. He has betrayed us, the Tamils. Another one says he has cheated the Tamils right royally. Did he go to royal? I don't know, but there are so many questions, including the people from radio who are asking you not to go away because they want you on radio later on this morning, and the questions are coming in thick and fast.
Like election results.
It's like election results.
Okay.
Now, Azad, there's another matter, and I'm sure you have your own views on this. If you remember, the Commission of Inquiry said that there is prima facie case against Arjuna Mahendran. They wanted it to be investigated and, if necessary, to take action. And that was, they said that the evidence before them indicated a prima facie case that Arjuna Mahendran had acted mala fide in the interest of Perpetual Treasuries Limited, his son-in-law's family company. Now, if that is the case, there is a prima facie case that this money that they made in that, let's call it the first period of the bond, up to the 31st of March, the 12 point something billion that they made, the money was tainted by an illegal process. Now there is the second bond, the 31st of March 2016 and beyond, which nobody has really looked into. We need an inquiry on that, because the contention being that if the first one was tainted, the proceeds of crime was then, it is quite possible that the proceeds of crime ended up in the second bond, and that is therefore illegal, and that's why we need another investigation. People are calling for that. We had Mr. Vasudeva Nanekara, we had all sorts of people here who are calling for the second.
More than anything for us, why don't we see the real situation now? On this bond, we see 2 people arrested. Right?
Yes.
Who are the people who are benefited by these 2 people? They say 45,000 checks have been written.
Yeah.
Today, they only accused of one person, and one person was asked to resign from his post, Ravi Karunanayaka, for having taken 8 million rupees
and he
had returned the money.
And well,
that's okay.
The thing is, he was questioned by
like a pickpocket
by Dapula de Oliveira and by Asanta Kodagoda.
Yeah.
He was given the full cross-examination, and it was sad. It was sad,
Yeah.
Azad, and I was there with some other people. We were watching and following closely. It was very sad the way when we compared how Ravi Karunanayaka was questioned and how Ranil Wickremesinghe,
Malik Samaravikrama and Kabir Hashim was questioned. Yes.
These people, they walked in as if they were walking into their private
and they
party.
flew out. Yeah.
Yes, they came in and they went out and they pretended to be smelling of roses.
More than that, my question is not that. The people who took money,
Yeah.
what action has this government up to today taken against the people who have taken money? Now we have got documents, BE reports. Now last council, I took up 2 issues. One is Rosie Senanayake taking 1 million rupees before election, when she was minister. Second, she has taken during election 2 million rupees.
Well, I hope you're saying this with responsibility.
Yeah, I have the BE report. It's in my vehicle now. This is what I'm going to ask you after tomorrow.
Right.
When the council starts, because last time I have asked her the question of 2 million rupees, she said she is not aware.
Yes.
I said, you are not aware? The money that you took, you are not aware? How could this be? The driver of the ministry with her son has gone and encashed the first million. Again, the second 1 million was also...
A very rich driver.
Yeah, again the driver who is working for Temple Trees, and her son had gone and encashed and given it to her. Now, this has come to light. Likewise, Sujiva has accepted the money. He says, my campaign managers are so many managers I have, and various people would have taken it. So let's forget all that.
At least, yeah.
My question is, if the people who gave money in bribery, what is this thing? If you take money or give money, you are answerable.
Yeah.
Right? That's illegal. So now, the person who gave the money is inside, the person who took the money is outside. So why don't this government...
It's called democracy Sri Lanka style.
No, this is rape of Sri Lanka. Like you said earlier, this is rape of Sri Lanka, which has not come into account. This is what people want.
I hope some public-spirited people who have the money will be able to commission one of these international firms to do a full audit, a forensic audit on the standing of various investors who purportedly...
A lovely story, I'll tell you. A person questioned Mr. Mahinda Rajapaksa on the $7.6 million.
Yes.
You know what reply he gave?
Yeah.
He has told him, so this country is full of mataganas.
Right.
Anybody you ask, I can't remember, I have forgotten, this is what...
And finally, I want to end the program by this. We had one of these news alerts that came up, and it said, a Singaporean national arrested at the Bandaranaike International Airport while attempting to smuggle out rupees 15 million of foreign currency out of the country. Do you know what? I have a viewer who's saying, was this money for Mahendran?
This money, not only money, foreign currency, but gold also. We have discussed it earlier also.
Yeah.
See, from 0.5% to 15% it became, only to allow the smugglers to rob. and the smugglers are smuggling, and a day, in 1 week they catch one person and say, yeah, we have caught so many foreign currency. For a day, how many millions of foreign currency is going out of this country? Who knows? What are they doing?
Who knows?
Nobody.
Azath Salih, thank you very much. Now then, just before we sign off, tomorrow is election day in Pakistan. And we have a hero from the past, Imran Khan, who I wish him very well.
All of us wish him very well.
We all wish Imran Khan very well.
One thing before you end is the judiciary of Pakistan.
Nawaz
Sharif was the Prime Minister of Pakistan, and he was ousted as Prime Minister in office by the Pakistani judiciary.
It's wonderful.
After that, Asif Zardari is being now charged with his family and 20 others for money laundering of 32 billion Pakistani rupees. So
and
Najib from Malaysia, when our country, some politicians, they came and shouted and said, oh, nothing. The ambassador from Malaysia, Mr. Muzamil, called and said, nothing. What rubbish! His house was rounded up. He was searched. All his properties, vehicles, jewelry, wristwatches, everything there. So many billions taken out from his house. And the ambassador is clueless. And he gives wrong information to the president, and nothing happened. And now we have seen that Najib is caught and he is on bail. So this is what is happening around the world. Sri Lanka is getting raped every day.
It is getting raped. One more word, one word. Will we ever go down the route of Malaysia and Pakistan in terms of accountability?
Never. You rob, I will rob 1 rupee more than you. That's the motto of the UNP.
That's the motto. On that note, Azath Salih, thank you very much. It's been a great pleasure having you here, and it's been absolutely wonderful. Thank you, Azath.
Thank you, Faraz.
And thank you for your input, and that's the way it was on Newsline today. Take care, and God bless.
News First, Newsline with Faraz Shauketaly.